Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is the traditional update following a weekend of work, basically. It's difficult to spot a lot of what Hannah did. I mean, I can see it, but if you compared it with the last update, you won't see a huge amount of difference, unfortunately. But she has done quite a lot of work. This bush here has had all its new shoots taken back so that it remains bushy. Again, that involves the long-handled pruner to actually get up the top. So there's some amount of work been done on that. That's a verbena or viberna or something like that. Blooms in February on bare branches. So that's that. And then over here, the wisteria, she's taken some of the larger leaves off that were hanging out, and a lot of the tendrils, the things that shoot up, have been trimmed a bit so that the leaves that are left on them will grow into big leaves and cover a bit of the fence. And it was suggested, because Hannah does things like that I could get a few hooks on this fence, because it is wood, and put some string along and actually allow these tendrils to attach and possibly cover quite a large amount of that shed, because it is very fast growing. So as far as tidying in the actual border is concerned, nothing much was done. There were a few of the larger plants in the back that had self-seeded on the edge that Hannah took out because they were just in the way, and we both had a big debate on whether that's a foxglove or not. My logic is, if it's not a foxglove, I don't know what the hell it is, but it hasn't got any signs of a spike yet. But if it is a foxglove, it's a very strong, healthy plant that's growing right on the edge of the border. So it's not in the right place, but we'll see what happens with that. This hot weather is starting to damage my ferns. Yeah, I'm starting to get brown edges, which is such a shame because they were looking so good this year. The rose is looking good. The blooms themselves don't last a huge amount of time. As you can see, there's different stages here. I mean, this one's going over, so this one's starting to fade. These are ones that have opened and are heading towards fading. And then you get the tight buds that haven't opened properly yet, and then you get these. The ones that are in between, quite honestly to me, they're the ones that look at their best. Sorry about that noise, but that's the guy next door with his motorbike coming home. It is a gorgeous bike, but it is loud. Now these geraniums here, Hannah was desperate to take some home, and she was trying to find a piece of plant that she could dig up, and she didn't know that you can actually take cuttings off of geraniums. So she actually took some cuttings and stuck them in a glass of water to get them home so that they didn't droop. So she's taken quite a few cuttings home of the geraniums. Now this bit here doesn't look any different, but it is, I can assure you. Hannah's taken the level of the ivy down an awful lot. She spent quite a bit of time on this, so the overall height and a lot of this has been cut back to allow that nice geranium to come through. These, that's Rose Campion, they had self-seeded in the cracks. So Hannah rescued those, and they had enough roots on to get them in a pot. And the fact that they've gone in that pot and they haven't wilted means they will grow. So we've got some more Rose Campion, because we lost a fair bit of that. Not all of it, we've still got some, but we lost a fair bit. What else? These tubs haven't changed, we haven't done anything to them, although the yarrow achillea, I think it's called, but you know, the flower spikes are pushing on now, so we will get some. This rose is an old-fashioned rose, very attractive, yeah. Now round here it was mostly weeding and removing things that were in the wrong place. And what that actually means is, you know, if you've got a nice clump of thyme and there's something sticking up the middle that's not thyme, it's in the wrong place. So there was a lot of sort of removing that sort of thing. So there was a fair bit of that done. We decided that this conifer, which is dying anyway because I haven't been able to get water in it properly, is going to just get left and died, cut off, taken up the tip with the pot and just get rid of it. I don't like it, I never have. It came from the other house, wasn't mine effectively, I just bought it. And effectively somewhere up in this corner is the blackbird's nest. And you could see them over the weekend coming and going with mouthfuls of food. So we decided that this end up here didn't get touched, so nothing got done here. The laurel needs pruning, both bushes. That orange blossom needs... Oh, goodness me. We've actually got blossom. Well, that absolutely confirms that it is orange blossom. I'll show you that later when it opens up, because this looks like a good hybrid. The blooms look like they're going to be quite large, and there's lots of buds. So that now has been pruned correctly to actually encourage blooms, because it blooms on the previous year's growth. So after it's bloomed, you have to prune it hard so that it grows. A lot of these long shoots are going to have to come off because it just gets too tall, and the maintenance goes. Can't maintain it if it's too tall. Now there was some work to do on these tubs, but the sun came round like it is on my back now and on the back of my head, and so the tubs didn't get done. The rosemary needs the dead couple of shoots taken off and then cut hard back, and these tubs need moving out from this corner into where they're going to live, because we now can put things back where they're supposed to be, having virtually finished the decking. Got the first scabious is opening up, so that's started. That's a hybrid, it's not the wildflower, it's a hybrid. But all the work that was supposed to be done on the tubs, all the plants in there are weeds. You know, the plant itself is the Himalayan honeysuckle, but what else is in the pot is self-seeded weeds. That was all supposed to be taken out. But you can't work in this strong sun, it's just not on. I mean, Hannah dehydrates quite easily with her heart condition and everything, and consequently she would just and then she gets a busting headache, and it's just not worth it. You know, it can be done another time. So that's that. Now, she cut the palm back an awful lot, the reason being that I wanted this path clear, so that I've got a clear walk to the shed. So she's done a good job there, because that is vicious. This thing is horrible. I hate it. But I'm stuck with it. It's not mine, but it's. You see those spines on the stalk of the leaves, and they're backward pointing. Oh, and we've got lots of flowers. I hadn't noticed those because I don't come over this side of the garden much, but yeah, it's in flower. So that's good. Oh, that sun's burning my back. Now, the pyracantha, is that what it's called? Spiky bush is in full bloom at the moment, but Hannah trimmed all the top off and rounded the top and took back the one that was protruding out of the bamboo. And then this bush here that's in flower at the moment, we didn't want to disturb the blooms, she trimmed that back and just sort of took the extensions off to keep it tidy, basically. So she did some work in this corner to tidy it up quite nicely. And then obviously while all that was going on, I was doing the decking. Now I've made a decision. The fact that the old part of the decking only comes out to there, that last board needs a cut to fit in there. The new boards that I added were all a bit too long, so they all had to be trimmed off by this much. So the last board to go in will need the end trimming to cut to length, and then it needs like a tooth taken out of it up to there. And I'm thinking I might be able to do that with a handsaw. So I'm thinking about that. Now, of course, I can get up and walk on this now. It's quite a novelty. Obviously, all this rubbish timber and old bits of decking and everything, that's all got to be cleared away and taken up the tip, basically. But yeah, you can see what I'm getting at. The piece that's going to go in there just needs the edge cut off it to fit in. And then once that's done, it's filled in. This is going to be planted, and the decision's already been made, quite honestly. It's going to have a buddleia in it that can be allowed to grow, you know, this sort of size. I'll have to get the fence mended and coated before that happens. And then some ground cover plants will be planted, you know, to sort of cascade over the edges and sort of just smooth it off around the edges. So that's the plan. That's that. And yeah, some weeding was done around here and various other places, but the sun came round all too soon, and you can't work in this heat. It's just not, well, not unless you absolutely have to, but we didn't have to. So and I've still got these 2 panels to do. I've got a little piece to cut in there, which I've got a fixing for it, and again over there I've got a fixing for it. I just need to cut it to length and get it done. So that's an odd little bit to do, along with that last little strip over there. And then the work that I've got to continue with, a honeybee. There's not many around, but that's one. Don't see many. You see the solitary bees quite a bit, but not so much of the honeybees. What's got to happen with me is the green stain to do the shed and the fence has been ordered and should get here Thursday or Friday, maybe Saturday. You know what Amazon's like. It's funny with Amazon, when it's a free delivery, they say it'll be here Friday or Saturday, and it turns up Thursday. And other times they say Friday or Saturday, and it actually arrives on Saturday, but I'm here, so it doesn't matter when it arrives. And that gives me the green stain. The black stain I've already got, and now that we're getting close to finishing, I've got the encouragement and the incentive to sort of get on with stuff. And we've got the weather. So I'm thinking of getting the black stain out and starting to coat up the bonsai stands, the tabletop, that's going to get done black. The final item will be the bench, which is the hard bit basically. Quite honestly, Hannah said, "I'll do the bench if you like, Dad." So we'll see how that goes, but getting the bonsai staging coated up, and now that the decking's effectively finished, things can start being put back where I want them to go, because everything's just squashed up in this corner at the moment. It looks a right mess. So that can now be started. I'll be reluctant to do too much because of the heat, but first thing in the morning it's not hot. So, you know, if I get out here sort of 8-9 o'clock, I've got a couple of hours where I can work before that sun comes round and start organising this garden, you know, into how it used to be, with everything in its sort of place. And, you know, this staging looking nice and black and clean and, you know, almost new basically. So that's what's going on. That's what we got up to at the weekend. There's still more to do. But with the sun coming round, just, I mean, like now, it's about 1 o'clock now. The garden's in full sun. You know, I mean, okay, I'm just walking around holding the camera, but I wouldn't want to be working in this, not in this temperature. So that's as much as we got done, given the short, you know, I mean, Saturday we were travelling in the morning. We didn't get home till 12:30. So we only had the afternoon. The garden was already in full sun, so we didn't get much at all done Saturday. And then Sunday, you know, we got out and got going a bit earlier sort of thing, so that we actually got some stuff done. And then again, you know, once it sort of got into the afternoon, it just got silly, just got too hot. So I will get done what I can during this week in the gaps. Tomorrow's an ordinary day. I'm hoping to get something done out in the garden in the early part. You know, from first thing in the morning up till sort of 11 o'clock. It's workable in the garden. It's warm, but it's not in full sun. So we'll get something done. Wednesday I've got my doctor's appointment, so that's in the morning, and by the time I get back the garden will be in full sun, so we won't be doing anything in the garden on Wednesday. And then we've got ordinary days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. I'm out Sunday morning, and by the time I get back it'll be in full sun again. So anyway, that's what we got up to. Something else that's happened is the hedge has come into bloom. Blooms are quite nice, and it's actually popular with bees, but when it's in the sun. So as the sun comes round and the hedge is in the shade, the bees get on it. At the moment they're not there. So, but anyway, you know, that's if we'd cut all that back, we wouldn't have had those blooms. So that's nice. So there we go. That's what's going on. And a strange thing's happened up at Hannah's place, because she looks after quite an amount of the gardens in the area now, around the flats, taken over sort of maintenance of quite a few areas, and she said they had a lot of red campion and they had some pink campion, and all the red campion has been lost over the winter. The pink campion's still there, but the red campion has gone. All of it, every single piece. And I would have no explanation for that. None at all. Mine's doing okay. Including the new clump over here. So we got some going two sides of the path now. Yeah, mine's doing okay. And the bees get on that occasionally, a few solitary bees. And I've had a hummingbird hawk moth on it this year. I'm surprised it didn't come back, but it didn't. It appeared, stayed for a fair while feeding, and then disappeared and hasn't come back, which I'm surprised at. So that's all, and this was all done. I'm chucking my money away. Ugh! It came out of my pocket, stuck to my hand. That's where it's all sweaty. The alder was cut right back, as was the oak. And the idea is that from inside the house I can see over the top into that part of the garden, because they were getting too tall basically. So that's what we got up to. Some of the ground cover plants are going to flower soon. This pale yellow one, these are all going to be flowers very soon. And the silvery grey one over there, the long stalks there, are going to flower. That's going to flower soon. And again here there'll be some flowers there. And again, you know, the extensions, anything that grows tall is going to have flowers on. So and the forget-me-nots are still looking good. The geraniums under the hedge don't do so well, because in this heat they do not like full sun, and it's on them for a fair bit. It's a couple of hours and it wilts them every single time, but they're growing up into the laurel. But yeah, as far as that planted corner is concerned over there, there's plenty of things in the garden that can be moved into that planted area. I've got geraniums, I've got thyme, I've got different types of ground cover. There's all sorts of things can be planted up there to go around whatever shrub is chosen, and I'm 95% certain it will be a buddleia. All I've got to do is decide which one and where I'm going to get it from. Okay, so that's your garden update. That's what's going on, and something very English to end on. The roses, the epitome of English gardens. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.